Hi guys, welcome to this tutorial video on how to do some Glulam feature trusses. So first thing I'm going to do is duplicate the 3D view. I'm going to rename this and call it Glulam Trusses. So this is a sort of architectural model I've already got with different sections, but in this rear section I'm going to make this a vaulted ceiling. So I'm just going to hide that in the view. And that's sort of the configuration I've got. And I'm going to put some Glulam trusses in this area. So first things first, I'm going to go to floor plan. I've already created a level for the Glulam trusses. If we were to look at elevation, I've created a level 2600 high, just above, so it will notch into the wall plate. So I'm going to go to my Glulam level, and this is the area where I'm going to position my trusses. And as I'm setting this out, I am going to place a section. So I go to the View tab, click a section. I'm just going to put a section through that area, and this is the area where I'm going to begin working on. So I'm going to change this to Fine Level of Detail and Wireframe, and possibly just set this to almost a 10 and hide off my crop region. So I've got some reference planes already in, so I'll just take them out. I don't need them just yet. So this is the area where I'm going to work. And what I'm also going to do on my floor plan is create a reference plane so I can position my first truss, let's say in this position, and I'll set this to 1 meter. I'm going to rename this, so I'm going to call this Glulam Truss Set Out. And I go to my section. So I go to section 1, and I set the reference plane to be my Glulam truss. So that's where everything's going to go. If I just quickly draw in the bottom chord of my beam, so I go to structure, beam. I've already got some Glulam beams loaded. These are just the standard structural framing. So if we look at the UK one, and we go up a level. Just try that again. So we'll go to beam, load family. So it is the structural framing folder, and in there we have wood, and then I've got Glulam. I've resized the out of the box ones to sort of more standard UK size. So I'm going to go with the 90 by 220. I'm going to put on Fine Level of Detail, and I'm going to draw my, let's say my truss from here to here. If we have a look in 3D, we will see that we now have a bottom chord of our truss, and if we look in section, we also have the bottom chord there. So what I'm now going to do is put in the rafters. Because the reference plane is set on the truss set out, I should be able to draw the beam in again. I'm going to go with the Glulam, and I'm just going to sort of pick a point there. I'm not going to be too accurate for the purpose of the video, and draw a rafter there, and then I'm going to mirror that across along there. So what I've now got is something that looks like that. So in my section here, I want to do a little notched detail. So I want to notch the Glulam into the bottom chord. To do that, I'm going to place a cut in the bottom chord of the beam. So first of all, I might just stretch this beam back so it sits on the inside face of my wall, so I get the bottom chord the correct length. And then, as I said, I want to notch this rafter in, so I can go to the opening cut by face, and then I can actually draw the shape of the cut. So let's say I want something like that, and I can click it, and you'll see that as we look at that in 3D, it will have placed a notch in the bottom chord. And then if we go to our section again, I do a similar notch. I can just take a reference point across from there so I can get the distances correct, and then again it's an opening by face, select it, and then from there to there, just be a little bit more accurate here, so that's coming down to that point there, and then confirm that cut. Now to get the cuts in the rafter, I'm going to put a reference plane in at that point. So if I draw it exactly in there, what I can then do is select my rafter, use the modify cut tool, and then cut it at that value, and then the same over here. So put a reference plane in where it's notched, so from here to here, go to modify cut, select my rafter, and then cut it along that, and then we've now got the glulam beams notched in here and here. So if we look on section again, what I now want is to place a vertical post between the bottom chord and the apex of the rafters. So I've got a Glulam level here. I want to add another glue level in so I can project the top of post. And I don't actually need the view, but I've got it anyway, so I can go to my Glulam level. Let's have a look in wireframe. We can actually possibly do it in either level. Let's do it in the Glulam level. So I want to position my post in the middle. So I'm going to go to column. This is now going to be a structural Glulam column, which I'm going to position at that point. So we'll position it, well, actually first of all we'll control the height up to the top of the post and position our column at that point. Now I've not rotated it, so I can just select it and rotate it from there along my reference plane. Let's have a look at my section, and I think I just need to center the post, so it just needs to move from to there. So that is the post positioned. We have a look. So we've got our post in as a column. Go back on my section, and I'll put in 2 extra reference planes. So we go to reference plane, and we'll draw one in at that level, and we'll draw another in at that level, then modify cut the post to there, and then cut this again to there. So that will then, wrong view, Glulam trusses. We've now got our bottom chord, which is notched, hosting the rafter, and then I've got my king post in the middle. So because this is Revit 2019, it also gives me the steel toolkit, and I can utilize the plate function. So I can go to plate, and I can set a reference plane on the front edge, which is here. And then what I can do is I can orientate my view cube by right clicking, orientate to the plane, and we can pick our, let's just make sure that we set this reference plane, which is fine, and then we orientate it round. I tend to go into wireframe so we can now see my truss. Because I'm in the create plate tool, I can actually start to draw the plate. So I'm going to take a line up there, let's say 350, and we will come across from, say, to here, and then I draw another line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sketch the shape of this sort of detailed plate, and I take this across to 700, and I then use the offset tool, and with a 50mm offset I can just create the shape of this plate, and then delete these lines, and basically I'm just putting in a little steel T bracket plate here and here. That can go to here, and I can just drag this round to there, and then it's a case of just completing the plate and then tidying up the corners here and here, and then we create the plate. It will say none of the elements are visible, and that's probably down to your visibility graphics. Under structural connections, make sure that the plate is activated, and if we have a look at our Glulam truss now, and we shade it, we've now got a bracket there. And if we just orientate this back to the plane again, again just finish the other plates off. So I'll do a plate connecting the items here. So again, I'm just going to very quickly sort of draw from center line up, let's say 350 again, and we'll bring something across from here. So we've got something like that. Again, I use the offset tool and just offset it both sides, and then we can just quickly just trim off the edges. So once we've got that one in, I can use the mirror tool to mirror it over there, and then I've just got the final bracket. So it's again a plate. So I set out the center line and then I just offset. Let's say 400, and we mirror that across, and then offset again, 50 both sides, and then it's a case of just drawing in the single lines for the outside bits. Delete my center lines, and then it should be trim and extend of the corners to create if we have a look, just put the shading on this, so we can go to shaded. There you have it. I'm going to select the 4 plates, go into my Glulam View, and then I can use the mirror tool to pick the axis along my reference plane. That will put the plates on both sides, and then what I like to do then, if you want to create a copy of your truss, just copy it, take the constraint off, and let's say we have a 2 meter spacing. Have a look at our Glulam truss, and of course I forgot to copy the bottom chord, but that can now just be copied. There we have it. I did obviously forget to take the tops, but you get the idea. So just with some beams, some nice little cuts, utilize the steel plates, we can create and detail sort of any type of feature Glulam truss. And if we just go in on the plan view, let's create a little camera inside, so we'll have a little look and see what this looks like. Potentially go from there out. We have a look, and we just extend that up. And if we orbit the cameras around, you will see that the plates are not visible. Again, that's a visibility setting, so if we were to click visibility graphics, go down to structural connection, and there we have it. Job done. So let's have a look in 3D. So you can see feature Glulam trusses easily added to the model.